Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to go over the best exercises to do to train your back effectively, so let's get right into it. The back muscle as a whole is separated into several parts, and I would say it is arguably one of the biggest muscles in your body. So let's pick apart the back muscle one by one. The part of the back muscle that gives it the appearance of width is the middle back, and it's called latissimus dorsi or the lats. The part of the back muscle that gives it the appearance of thickness can be separated into several parts. If you look at it from top to bottom, the first muscle that you come across is the traps. This starts from the top of your neck and goes all the way down to your mid back, so it's quite big. So you got the traps running down the middle of your back. On the sides just below your rear delts, you got the infraspinatus, the teres minor, the teres major, and the rhomboids. You then have your lower back. Now let's look at what kind of exercises you can do to target each one of these back muscles. Let's first start with the traps. There are many types of exercises and variations that you guys can do to train your traps, but I'm going to give you guys the most effective exercises that's worked for me throughout the years. These are barbell shrugs and dumbbell shrugs. It's your personal choice to go with either one. Whatever works for you, you can choose. I go with dumbbell shrugs because it's given me the best results over the years. I also find with dumbbell shrugs you have better range of motion, whereas with the barbell you're kind of restricted. You can start light on shrugs and progressively overload as you go on. Muscle-mind connection goes a long way when you're training your traps as well, because you can't fully see your traps, so you have to imagine the range of motion when you're doing the exercise. Now let's move on to the lats, which gives you the appearance of width to your back. Some of the best exercises to do for lat activation according to research are pull-ups, lat push-downs, and lat pull-downs. You can utilize lat push-downs to activate your lat muscles, to drive some blood into the lat muscles, so that you perform better when it comes to bigger exercises and you get less prone to injury. Make sure you guys go light on this exercise because the aim is to activate your lat muscles, not to fatigue them. Make sure you guys get a full range of motion as you go through and get a good stretch at the end as well. You can then move on to lat pull-downs or pull-ups according to which one works best for you. You can switch them out with every session. The same body positioning goes for lat pull downs and pull ups as well. For lat pull downs, make sure you're holding the bar just over shoulder width and have a slight arch backwards in your spine and pull the bar to your upper chest. For pull ups, you pull yourself up until your upper chest touches the bar. When training back, the muscle mind connection is key because you can't see your back. So the only way you can effectively train your back is to imagine the range of motion with the concentric and the eccentric movement. Common mistake I see people do with lat pull downs is when it comes to the last part of concentric movement, they pull past their upper chest with their biceps instead of pulling to the upper chest with your elbows. When doing pull-ups, after you've done pull-ups for a while with your body weight, then you can move on to doing weighted pull-ups, and you can utilize progressive overload with that as well. Let's now move on to what creates a well-developed back, which is mainly thickness, which is mainly created by the separation created by the infraspinatus, the teres minor, the teres major, and the rhomboids. Any row movement would incorporate these muscle groups into action, so it's good to have at least 2 row movements in your back routine. One thing that's helped me with getting the muscle mind connection with the row movement is I think of my hands as meat hooks, and I focus on pulling my elbows back instead of pulling with my biceps. So that's a pro tip for you guys. So now I'm going to go over some rowing variations that you can incorporate into your back workout. First, we have the bent over barbell row. The bent over barbell row relies heavily on core strength and stability. So if you're a complete beginner, I wouldn't recommend that you start with this movement. I would recommend that you start with something like a seated cable row. This means that you need fairly less core strength and stability. That means you can go fairly heavy and then you can utilize progressive overload as you go on. A quick tip I would give for you guys with bent over rows is that you should place your thumbs over the bar instead of under the bar. It makes it easier for you guys to pull with your elbows instead of your biceps. Going a little bit lighter is the best way to do this exercise in a controlled manner. Common mistakes I see people do with this exercise is that they jerk the bar up and down, which means that they've chosen a weight that's too heavy. I also see people rounding their backs as well. Make sure you put your chest forward. Make sure you have a 35 to 45 degree angle at your torso. Then there's the one hand dumbbell row. This rowing variation creates a bigger range of motion compared to other rowing exercises. Torso positioning is the same as with the bent over barbell row. If you guys have been doing bent over barbell rows for some time, it's good to switch over to one hand dumbbell rows because it makes sure that you minimize any muscle imbalances that you might have gained over the period of time with the bent over barbell row. Common mistakes I see people do with this exercise is that they have an up and down motion instead of an arc motion, which defeats the purpose of the exercise. Another one I see people do is that they let their elbow go way past the midline of their body, which defeats the purpose of the exercise again and makes you more prone for injury. Then we have the seated cable machine row. It's the most simple and straightforward rowing movement there is. For rowing movements in common, I recommend that you guys pull the bar or cable towards your lower torso. Going anywhere above is going to work your rear delts and not your back. This movement, just like any other rowing movement, make sure you push your chest outward and pull the cable to your lower torso, and make sure you squeeze at the end of the concentric movement. Some of the common mistakes I see people do with this exercise is that they have partial range of motion, which means that they have chosen a weight that's too heavy, or maybe that's just pure laziness. So make sure you get a full stretch at the end of the eccentric movement, and you get a full stretch at the concentric movement as well. Another mistake I see people do is that they have a rounded back instead of pushing your chest outward. Make sure you don't do that. Then we have the chest supported row. I personally like to do this exercise with chest support because it isolates your back from the rest of your body. The same technique goes for this row movement as with other row movements as well. Make sure you squeeze at the end of the concentric movement and have a fairly slow eccentric movement as well, so that you make sure you recruit the maximum amount of muscle fibers that you can. Make sure you adjust the chest support to where the eccentric movement would naturally end, so you wouldn't overextend or underextend. So those are all the exercises I have for you guys that target each part of the back. So in total you guys would have 4 exercises for back, which is a good number to be working with. Make sure you guys give these exercises a go, and make sure you leave a comment below on how it went for you. Other than that, that's it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like on the video below and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.